Hey now, Foo Fighter here, your suburban shaman. I was going to talk about being a dupe and a fool in regards to approaching the internet and media environments and spiritualism, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the context of the Boston Marathon bombings and the conspiracy theories and stuff around that. So, right off the bat, I agree with what other people are saying. It feels like some kind of lone nut or lone wolf out there doing something. Doesn't feel like a government op. And shame on Alex Jones and people like that. I mean, that guy, he's doing this as business, so he's always going to be this hyper reactionary, over the top, conspiracy minded dude. On the other hand, if you follow this stuff, if you follow things that have happened in the past, it is ridiculous how often the government has some kind of contact with the perpetrators. World Trade Center 1, there was a damn informant, FBI informant, in the terrorist group, and yet it happened. Oklahoma City, there were people, there were informants, there were even agents in this kind of right wing Christian LOM. I think it was LOM City. They were there. They knew something was up, something was going on. They weren't like in the pocket with McVeigh. But there was some people from Arizona that were buddied up with them, and they were informing. So you had a mix of informers and agents. More recently, you had agent provocateurs pumping up people's tires and then busted them after the agent provocateur basically facilitated the plot or plan. What else? So Unabomber, that was kind of a unitary thing. You had the Atlanta bombings and abortion bombings. That was sort of like a right wing nut. That's why this kind of has the flavor of that. So, to being a dupe and a fool, the the nature of intelligence agencies is to be secret and to keep things hidden, or even better, to let a little truth out and mix it with a whole bunch of lies and just muddy the water so you can never get at the real nuts and bolts truth. And after you've experienced that for a while, read about it, learn about it, it's something, it's not comforting, not at all. I mean, there's some evil motherfuckers. They're more like black magicians doing their evil spells from the basement of whatever building in Washington. They're in their pentagram and they're sending their spirits out to do these things. So even though this feels like some kind of lone nut or lone wolf, who knows? Maybe they knew of it and figured, we'll let this one go. We'll let it happen. I don't know. We don't know, and that's the thing. You got to relax. Their job is to make it so we don't know. So whether they're any kind of government intel agents, spooks, or whatever that had any kind of knowledge of this, we don't know, and that's okay. They're good at their job. However, over time, usually things can be wheedled out. People can pay attention. There's some interesting things with 9/11 around all the financial groups and the interwoven connections of the companies that were in the buildings or had something to do with the building. So without even getting into the whole, did they let it happen or whatever, there's a lot of study that's going on and a lot of intriguing things are found out. And it's not bullshit. I mean, it's kind of jaw dropping, like, holy crap, that is really, that's significant. The thing about being a fool is that there's a tremendous disincentive to let the people that are very, have a literate bias, everything that can be known by reading the New York Times or reading, a book from a well-known author or watching, the news hour. They're really hard on conspiracy theories, and they should and shouldn't be. So you can't make this distinction. There are hardcore researchers out there that go and find out the facts over time, and then you have your Alex Joneses, who it's just this industry of just pumping up people's fear, pumping up their tires. Oh my God, hey, for him, it's just content for his business. It's just content. Like the news needs fires and murders and stuff as its content. Alex Jones needs something, and he's going to paint everything as some kind of conspiracy because that's the content he needs to report on. But as far as we go, even if people think you're a fool, you can be comforted in knowing that there is for real conspiracy stuff out there. I mean, to the rich and powerful, it's just another day. They're furthering their interests. Sometimes their interests are aligned. To them, it's Wednesday. To us, it's a conspiracy because, rich and powerful people are doing things to make themselves more rich and more powerful. The intelligence agencies are all jumbled up with the financial agencies and Wall Street. They always have been. The business of the CIA or the intel agencies has always been business, foreign and domestic. So it's no surprise, and just relax and accept it. On the other hand, doesn't mean it's okay what they're doing. So you can't help being a dupe. You can be a knowing fool and go into stuff saying, well, gee, everybody says there's no such thing as conspiracies, but, I do know there is such a thing. You can think I'm a fool if you want, but I'm gonna plug ahead and I'm gonna monitor this and see what the researchers are finding out and make my own judgments. So you can be your own person and just be open-minded. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a fool, but I'm no idiot. And I want to talk more about being a fool and a dupe later, but I just thought I'd use the Boston Marathon and the whole conspiracy furor to address it a little bit. So, as far as I'm concerned, intelligence agencies, their manipulation of media has made us all dupes. You cannot stop it. You cannot help it. But you can see the patterns of how they've done stuff in the past and kind of predict what they'll do in the future and how they'll behave and how they'll muddy the water and stuff. So it's much more a case of surfing the patterns and kind of staying above the facts, which can get muddled and distorted. And they do put out disinformation too. I mean, they'll give you facts. You want facts? Yeah, here's a bunch of facts, and some of it is bullshit, and it makes other facts be called into question, facts that are relevant and important. So that's what they do. You can't beat them at it. And then finally, being a fool is just saying that I'm not diminished by the fact that other people think there's issues of credibility, even giving credence to any kind of conspiracy theories. I mean, you can give them credence. You may not run down the street banging on everybody's door saying, hey, believe this theory or that theory, but you can arrive at a general pattern of what happened and why with some of these situations, and that's not a bad thing. It's the best we can do sometimes, and the further you get away from one of these things, the more you know about the machinations that happened, and that helps inform the future. Oklahoma City, I watched that, and I saw a lot of the machinations happening live on TV, and it was interesting to know that past patterns observed, in the JFK assassination and other things are at work. All right, that's it. Peace out. Have a good one.